Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Ignore my attire. I'm not changing my top between every video. Maybe the next one I might do. But yeah. Today we are going to look at the case of Lauren Burk. It is a solved murder. And it's not that they're not all horrific. Sorry, I have an itchy ear. I don't know why I itched it with that hand, but there you go. Not that they're all absolutely horrific, because they are, but this one is like just notably sad, like they all are. But yeah, let's just get into the case. Lauren Ashley Burk was born on the 30th of December in 1989 to parents Vivian and James. Now, she was one of 3 children. She had a sister and a brother. She went to Walton High School, and then she was excitedly looking forward to starting college at Auburn University. This was in Alabama. She was going to study graphic design and art, and do you know what? Lauren was just such a lovely girl. She was aspiring to do so much in her life and was doing it. You know, she was going out, she was getting that further education to do exactly what she wanted to do. And she was so focused on her studies, you know, very focused girl. I know I've used the same word again, but there you go. She also had a boyfriend who, they were like childhood sweethearts. He was called Sean McQuaid. Lauren herself was very social. You know, she joined like the frat groups and things like that. Is that what they're called? I don't know. It's an American thing. It's not an English thing. So yeah, I don't know. Frat groups? Those alpha pie things? Yeah, you know what I mean. Correct me on what it actually is, because I've probably butchered it. You know, I've seen so many American films as well, and so many things about it. Frat party? I don't know. I'm going to move on now. Lauren was just really kind and caring and just had a whole life ahead of her. Lauren was very bubbly, well liked by everyone. You know, she didn't struggle making friends, and although it was only her first year there, she had tons of friends. And she was a brilliant student as well. I think her boyfriend actually went to the same college. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, on the 4th of March in 2008, Lauren was leaving Sean's dorm room. And this was because she actually had a study date with one of her friends. She was going to go to the Ralph B. Dragon Library to go and, well, study. And off she went. Now, the thing... Oh, gosh. Yeah, you can hear the kitten. Come here. You want to see her? Look at her. She's so cute. You're so cute. What you doing? What are you doing? Okay, apparently it's be in the video. Yeah, you're gonna sit on my knee. I'll stroke you. Sorry about that. I'm not telling you her name because you'll probably laugh at me. And there she goes. So if you hear meowing, she's the culprit. My apologies. Now, where was I? Oh yes, Lauren was leaving the campus and heading towards her study thing, but what she didn't know was that there was actually a man prowling around, and this man was looking to rob someone. It was about 8 p.m. He saw Lauren walking up to her 2001 black Honda Civic. He pulls out his revolver and he tells her to get in the car. He jumps in the driver's side with the gun trained on Lauren and forces her to get into the passenger side. Immediately, of course, she knew how dangerous the situation that she was in. She literally had a gun pointed in her face. So she's trying to offer him solutions. She's got 200 quid on her, $200. She offers him that. He doesn't take it, although he was trying to rob someone. So I don't know whether after that he got other ideas or whatever, I don't know. But he was not interested in that. She was pleading for him to let her go, but instead he just sped off with her in the car. And whilst in this car and with the gun pointed to her, he ordered her to undress, which she did, of course, because she didn't want to disobey this man who's pointing the gun at her. And poor Lauren was stuck in this car for half an hour, naked at this point, with this gun trained on her, and she is trying to talk to the man, calm him down, offer him solutions. He tells her how he's unemployed. She gives the offer to try and find him a job. You know, she's just trying to do anything to let her get out of that car. She knows how dangerous a situation she's in. As they were heading down Highway 147, don't really know how you say them, a boyfriend calls her. And this man does allow her to pick up the phone, but he tells her to, like, make an excuse, because I don't know whether her friend has rang her boyfriend or tried to ring a boyfriend and said, you know, like, where is she? I don't know. But anyway, I might have just been checking him. She makes an excuse and as to why she's not going to the study club. At some point, her friend also rings her, who's waiting for her. And again, I think I've got that wrong, actually. Maybe she tells her boyfriend that she forgot. No. I'm confused. Yeah, that was it. Her friend rang as well. And because she'd missed the study session, she said that she'd forgotten about it, sort of tried to quickly hang up the phone and leave her at that, basically, and that she had to go. So she actually managed to speak to 2 people, but obviously she has a gun trained on her, and so she just tried to end the call as quickly as possible. All this time, this man is telling her about his misfortunes in life and things like that. And she's just trying to keep him calm throughout all of it. So he's driving this car with the gun trained on her, and as you can imagine, there's not a lot of room in between, like, her seat and his seat anyway, and then he's holding the gun there too. She's terrified. Sorry. So at this point, it's probably becoming more and more clear that Lauren has to do something to get out of this car, because he's not letting her go. And so she thinks her only option is something that she could try. Sorry, the coughing is just really dried up my throat. Was that she could try and leap out of the car while it's moving, open the door and just dive out. So that's what she does. She has no clue. She has no clue what this man's going to do to her, and so she tries it. As Lauren is leaping out of the passenger side door, this man lets off 2 shots from his gun, and Lauren then sort of dives out onto the sidewalk. People see this as well, a naked woman diving out of a moving car after hearing 2 bangs, and then she manages to, the car like stops and stalls for a minute and then just speeds off. And these witnesses see Lauren, who manages to scramble to her feet with the last remaining of her energy. At this point, you're hoping that she hadn't been hit by the bullets, but the gun was that close. He basically couldn't have missed. And so he hit her twice in the back around her lung area. She manages to stand up, which is an amazing feat because she's been shot twice. But then she ends up running a little bit and collapsing on the sidewalk. At this point, really struggling to breathe. Of course, ambulances were called, first responders came, and everyone tried to save Lauren's life. But sadly, she couldn't be saved. And she did pass away. They did get her to the hospital though. She wasn't pronounced as deceased until 9:35 after having made it to the hospital. But there was just too much damage. What her cause of death was just rapid blood loss from the gunshot wound, basically. I'm not sure of the timeline of this, but police then received a phone call, whether it was about the same time, just after this happened, or what. Well, no, it must have been just after this happened. Not sure whether they'd got the phone call about Lauren yet. Or they had. I don't bloody know, okay? But they got a phone call. That's all you need to know. It was a phone call, and it was to say that there was a vehicle on fire on the Auburn campus. They go up, they manage to put the fire out. Here we go with the coughing again. And inside the car, they found a .38 caliber bullet. It was under the driver's seat. So obviously they had to try and find out who owned this car. They didn't know the two was related at this point, but basically it was Lauren's car. The owner of Lauren's car was under her father's name. So they track the plates, they track the owner of the car, and they ring Lauren's father to say that they've found his car and it's burnt out. Now, of course, he knows So that's Lauren's car, and Lauren was driving that car. He knew that she was going to a study session with her friend as well, because she'd been talking about it not long ago. He ends up ringing around trying to find out where Lauren is, because at this point, the naked lady that they found, who was Lauren, on the sidewalk, she didn't have any ID on her because she was naked. And so they didn't know who she was. So they didn't tie it in, obviously. And he's trying to find his daughter. He rings a boyfriend. He says, like, whatever. Rings a friend who she's supposed to be studying with. Probably rang her first, sorry. And she says that Lauren didn't turn up, and she rang her, and Lauren said that she'd actually forgotten. Well, her father knew that that was definitely not true, because not long ago, when he last saw her, she was talking about this study session, and she took her studies very seriously, so he knew. She knew about this, and she wouldn't have missed it. So that was very strange as well for Lauren. And he was really worried at this point. It didn't take long for them to identify Lauren's body, sadly, and obviously that's when her family were then informed that Lauren Burk had been murdered by whomever had jumped in her car and stolen it and burnt it out later on. I'm not sure how they found out this man's identity. Actually, I think I do. This man was called Courtney Lockhart, right? And he had taken Lauren's credit card, and what he'd actually done was spent it on some gas, bought some gas at a fuel station. That's what he used to torch the car with, right? So he actually bought that on Lauren's card. So I don't know if that's how they found out who he was. And then later on, he used the card to fuel up his own car as well. How dumb can you get? But yeah, that's what he did. So he got petrol. He dumped that car after killing Lauren, burnt it after leaving her dying on the sidewalk. He didn't even know whether she was deceased at that point. Drove off, burn out the car, get rid of the evidence, jump in his own car, drive off, go to a fuel station because his car needed fuel, fill it up off Lauren's card, and off he went. So he was on the run at this point. They knew who he was. He was called Courtney Lockhart, which I think I've already said. He also had her iPad and obviously the gun that he used before he fled. He actually managed to be on the run for a few days. It wasn't until the 7th of March that he was finally caught. I guess they got his car from the gas station, so they were on the lookout for that car, and some cops actually pulled him over, tried to get him out of the car. He wouldn't get out of the car. They struggled with him. He drives off. A cop chase ensues. They're chasing him. I'm not sure whether he crashes or whether he just speeds off, stops somewhere, dives out of the car, runs into the freaking woods or something. The cops follow him. Oh, sorry, as well, as he opens his door to leg it, there's a cop motorbike coming down. And as he opens the door, this police officer smacks into the freaking door and flies off. He legs it, and then they leg it after him. Luckily, they managed to catch him. Thank goodness. And obviously, they found the iPad, whichever one it was. They found her credit cards, shell casings, a bloodstained t-shirt. You know, they found all the evidence to match him to Lauren. And he just confessed to it after that. They did go to trial, though, because despite him confessing, he was going to plead not guilty due to reasons of insanity. Yes. Now, I do want to say here that Courtney had a troubled past. He was in the army. He was dispatched to Iraq, things like that. You know, it was said that he was never the same again. I'm not going to go into his history and his details because at the end of the day, I'm here to talk about Lauren, who he callously murdered. You know, he might have had PTSD and all that, but I'm sorry, it doesn't excuse you taking a life. So he did have a troubled past with everything that went on with him, and you know, I feel for him, I do, but at the end of the day, there's still right and wrong, and he was very wrong in what he did. If you want to look it up, you know, it's all on the internet. Go ahead and go and look it up. He saw some shit in the army, but a lot of people do. So yeah. His defense tried to bring all his past up. They tried to do the PTSD defense thing, but you know, he was never actually diagnosed with that, despite having some of the symptoms of it. He apparently did other burglaries after the murder, so it wasn't just killing Lauren. He carried on after that. You know, he was gone for a few days. He attacked like 4 women in total after Lauren. So yeah, he needed to be stopped and put away. Basically, the day that he saw Lauren out in the car park, he pulled out his gun and he approached her. He said that, you know, basically shooting Lauren was an accident. He did do all that stuff. But as she tried to escape, he didn't actually mean to shoot her. But I'm not being funny, he shot her twice. Accidentally, the gun went off once, maybe. Twice? Come on. Really? You trying to say that? I don't bloody think so. Bang, bang. Oh yeah, sorry, it was an accident. Come on. No one's going to believe that. And guess what? The jury didn't, because 6 hours later, after deliberating over it all, they found him guilty of robbery, kidnapping, capital murder. And that's it. I don't know why I'm waiting, like stalling like there's more. He was found guilty of all of those. Of the capital murder of Lauren Burk. He was later sentenced to the death penalty. So yeah, that is the end of it. Can you imagine going from your boyfriend's dorm to get into your car to go and meet a friend for a study session? For then all of that to happen. Just beyond heartbreaking. And all she wanted to do was try and save herself. And she tried. Do you know what I mean? She really tried. She tried talking him down. She tried offering him money, everything. And her only option, she felt like, was to leap out of the car. And he got her. It's heartbreaking. That is all I have today on the case of Lauren Burk. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye.